Demon is a Halo 3 mod created by MikemetalKVLT. While there are many Halo 3 mods on Halo the Master Chief Collection for PC, this one in particular, Demon, stands out as each level has been modified, so you can play the campaign from beginning to end, all under the same modified rules and features. Mike Metal has also been dedicating time to updating this mod over the weeks, revealing the pride and care he has for what he's created. Demon overall makes Halo 3 more aggressive and challenging than retail, providing longtime Halo fans an adrenaline rush again, and more spice to a 13-year variety bowl that is the Halo 3 campaign. So here we go. The Flood in Demon is more difficult to defeat, and it'll be clear when you need to evade instead of trying to eliminate every single Flood form for the fun of it. The Flood is a parasite. You pick and choose your battles with the Flood, and this mod exemplifies that. There are sections where it'll feel right and more manageable to defeat the Flood, but those sections are in no way a casual stroll. While the Arbiter does hold up his end very well at close range with his energy sword against the Flood, you may want to do so as well, but take heed. You'll need a powerful weapon for distant Flood forms firing at you. Demon incorporates weapon changes and allows you to utilize a modified silenced SMG and automac, all tied to balancing the gameplay. The enemies and allies commit to farther engagement distances, therefore you'll want to be aware of how long you are potentially exposing yourself just to take a shot. Grunts with plasma pistols, brutes with brute shots, it doesn't matter to the foe. They are much more confident in the fight, as they should be. I did mention that there is some spice added in with this mod, and that comes in the form of ballistics. Someone is still paying that gravity bill, and you will have to compensate with weapons like the brute shot, as just one example. The brute shot will no longer feel like you're firing hollow softballs in Halo 3. Instead, it'll feel like you're truly firing grenades with some weight due to the noticeable arc. For those savvy battlefield tacticians, this will allow you to potentially eliminate enemies in the dead space. However, the brutes in this mod are great at this, so you'll have to rush them at times if you can't take them out from a distance. You hear the difference in the spiker's rate of fire, and you see the gravity affecting the spikes, more so than in retail. This adds a little more realism to a slightly primitive weapon, whereas a more advanced weapon like the Spanker rocket launcher, the faster projectile still succumbs to gravity. But when you just get it right, it's pretty satisfying. You may have heard and agree that Halo 3 is like a game of chess. It's all about placement, and certain weapons in the hands of someone skilled with that weapon can potentially alter the map. I find that to be the case in Halo 3 multiplayer. Although the retail Halo 3 campaign, I feel, is tipped into the player's favor a bit more than the enemies, even on legendary difficulty. This Demon mod changes that. It's important to place yourself in locations where you can attack at various angles on your adversaries. With that said, certain beloved and effective weapons like the battle rifle is absent of its retail bullet magnetism, and instead the battle rifle comes accompanied by a stronger recoil. But the projectile velocity seems higher, so you're not just feeling like you're tossing rocks out of a slingshot. Although you can't just quickly jump out of cover and land an easy one-shot kill. Timing and touch is very key to this mod, especially with the battle rifle. The Needler in Demon, it's quick and devastating as you can see. Speaking of being quick, your shields recharge faster, and this was implemented to get you, the player, back into the action without slowing the gameplay down to a bore. You're the Demon. This is your turf, so prove it. Go find Nemo. It is recommended you play this mod Demon on Legendary only, for all of the modifications and additions were built to accommodate Legendary difficulty. As for the Sniper Jackals in this mod, they are used to keep you from exposing yourself for too long, so this isn't necessarily a run and gun mod, despite its faster pace. Again, I find this awesome how far that they commit to actually firing their weapons at me with plasma pistols and needlers. And arcing those brute shots too. With the increase in the player's overall speed, I found myself detaching the turrets and using them as well as utilizing equipment more often. I believe I wanted to use the equipment in this mod due to the increased aggression and resilience of the brutes mainly. In the retail version, I found that the equipment in certain locations of Halo 3's campaign was placed in there more as a gimmick. almost as if I had to go out of my way to use it, really without benefiting from it much other than the power drainer and the regenerator. In this particular section, the brute pack is much more of a threat than retail. I got killed a few times as I wasn't anticipating the brutes to be as tough as they are in this mod. You know, when you just go into a campaign level but you don't treat it like an online match, you're not as diligent with how you move around the map as you would be playing against other human beings. Well, that's what I was doing. I was a little careless, but I had fun respawning and trying out different methods to beat this section, which is supposed to be a challenge in the first place. I just never felt like it was in the retail version of Halo 3. The brutes are not necessarily too difficult to defeat. You can still counter and flank them very easily. You will just want to have enough awareness of what other brutes or other Covenant forces are around you at the time and not get cornered. Kind of like what you are seeing right here. But with that increased speed in the shield's recharge, and with your speed as you move around the map, recklessness may reward you. Something that I have noticed that has bothered many Halo fans is Halo 3's brute armor colors for retail, many ranks being slightly altered shades of blue. In this mod, there are various armor colors for the brutes, all of which are more subdued in its brilliance. The golden color Brute Captain Major being an example of that from retail. In Demon, you can easily identify a type of ranking structure, although there isn't a ranking structure that denotes which rank corresponds with each and every color in this mod. Nevertheless, it's really cool to see the maroon or burgundy Brute Captain armor color shown in Bungie's Halo 3 development videos.
Shotgun!
The very elaborate Chieftain and War Chieftain brutes look to be the same. Before concluding this video and you go to downloading this mod, let's look at 3 vehicles that have been altered. Ladies and gentlemen, you can hop in the Mongoose. This makes timing a jump so much more fun as you can really get some air, and since your allies are much more accurate and willing to fire at targets several miles away, giving your passenger a rocket launcher is a must. I don't think there is any better way to defeat the Covenant. Forget the spaceships, forget the Spartan program, these Mongoose in this mod are so quick and nimble they can break and turn on a grain of sand. Forget all the Halo rings and the Ark, whoever controls the Mongoose controls the fate of the universe. Things can get inherently chaotic as the passengers are all about ride or die. When you flip the Mongoose, it will happen from time and again, then the ally will get in to drive the vehicle. They may have driven me better than in the retail version of Halo 3, but I still needed them on the back as a passenger, for their rocket launcher skills are out of this universe. Despite getting shot at, it feels like the Mongoose can reach up to speeds of like 270 miles per hour as well, getting you in and out of the fray with ease. The Prowler's turret has been modified to fire numerous spikes as you hold down the trigger. While it looks like a scene from 300 if you're on the receiving end, it still looks pretty brutal if you or your ally is dealing the damage. Much like popping wheelies in the Mongoose, you can get some air in the Prowler too, which can come in handy when you use the mass. The Hornet has seen an upgrade in its rockets, as the rockets travel at a much higher velocity than retail. The counter to this is that the rockets will take a few more seconds to reload another couple. The machine guns are also more powerful, which does some pretty hefty damage to Banshees and certainly to infantry, in which their bodies will become lost in the sauce. Since the rockets travel much faster, you don't have to get closer to the Phantoms and Banshees in order for the rockets to lock onto the target. Instead, line up a shot and take it.
Pass to his son.
The link to download this mod is in the description.